Hello and welcome to another episode of Duos and Destiny, where we make our fathers proud and play make-believe as grown adults in the form of Dungeons and Dragons, a Spelljammer homebrew campaign. I am your dungeon master, Logan, and I'd like to give a special shout out to Jason Wardell of In the Vast Forest on Spotify and Bandcamp. If you listen to his music, you too can prep your sessions and play your sessions to his sweet, sweet tones.
How sweet they are. Again, my name is Brandon. I'm your player. We can't thank you enough for tuning in to episode number 7.
Bow, bow.
Oh, 2 hands. Number 7 of Commander's Log. Every Wednesday, coming at you quick and heavy. We're having a blast, having just an amazing amount of fun doing this. We hope you guys too. Please continue to share us with your friends. Give us any feedback. Like, subscribe. Tune in next Wednesday. Check the description for all the good old socials, all the information. Again, we can't thank you guys enough. This is super fun. Without further ado, last time on Commander's Log. Returning to the mansion, Carson found Carlisle and Zage working magically in the physical and mental meeting on Sid. Returning Sid back into a working automaton. Eventually, Carson found his way to his room and had a very beautiful night's rest before being woken up and asked for breakfast. To his surprise, not only was there Carlisle around the table, but there was also Admiral Jim Horder and High Priestess Olgri. High Priestess Olgri had some very inquisitive questions and offered to do a few rituals on our dear friend and boy Carson. And Carson was not a fan of that in the slightest. He chose and opted to immediately exit the breakfast and go run errands instead. Yeah, as his anxiety and thought for what had happened only a previous 2 weeks ago immediately spiked. So he picked up his armor, ran a few errands that he needed to, and met on the Starhammer before taking off. The 2.5-ish days of travel were pretty light in the most part before scouting out this unnamed planet currently, before finding a group of Leonin that were looking like they were getting ready for war. And as we could also scout out a group of invaders to this planet, if you will, that were causing death and destruction to the plants and trees around the planet. Deciding to land with the Leonin, Carlisle, and Carson offered to aid them in this battle, hopefully to gain allies. They shared a meal, and pretty soon they were on the hunt as they were running through the grasslands. Curiously enough, we find ourselves within 100 feet of these so-called invaders, and that is where we find ourselves tonight.
Absolutely. Quick point of order. I think whenever I introduced where you guys were at on the plains previously, I said you were pretty close to the mountains. I would like to retroactively say not quite the case. I started thinking more and more about the scale of the world, and I'm like, dude, if you're close to the mountains, that makes no sense.
We would have ran for quite some time.
Yeah, absolutely. Just to
enough.
get to the shadow portion itself. So, I would say you're probably closer to that little indicator of scrubland right there.
Fair enough. Okay.
That's about where you guys landed. So you're only a few miles away from the encroaching shadow, or as you've come to learn, not the shadow, but basically a defiled, blighted landscape. Where we last left off, you had been... Let me grab my notebook here. I forgot that.
Please do. Join me.
You'd followed the line folk into closer towards the encroaching shadow, and you had found yourself just 60 feet away from the approaching lizard folk. These lizard folk, this is the actual mini for what you see in front of yourself. These are Surans. If I'm pronouncing that right or not, I don't know. But they are, you can take a closer look at that guy if you don't want to. They're very lithe, skinny creatures with a exaggerated long neck, long limbs, sharp claws, and
Wicked.
instead of like a toothy maw, shout out,
Shout
there
out Matthew
is
Mercer.
there is kind of like their mouth ends in a beak as opposed, and there's one specifically leading a total of 6 of these Surans. Uh, Hacking and slashing their way through the landscape, and they're kind of pushing this blight further and further towards you guys. Everywhere that they walk and everything that they slash, there is just a black decay that takes over the flora and fauna before slowly disintegrating it, and then it just altogether disappears, leaving a completely barren landscape.
Oh, okay.
The lion folk had kind of split off of their way from you and Carlisle, and you and Carlisle are in Hack, I suppose, as well.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are crouched low beneath these kind of like shrubby bushes here, and you can see just in the fading light, because it is just after sunset. You can see these creatures 60 feet away from you. The lion folk seemingly disappeared with a very good stealth check, as well as being at home here. Like, this is their territory, their hunting grounds. And they have disappeared off away from you guys as you and Carlisle crouch. Him kind of breathing heavily. He looks at you and he says, "Can you see what's going on? I'll be honest, I can't see in the dark."
They're coming right for us. They've got to be 50 feet away from us.
And
It's going to be soon.
the Chief Gordon, he said, "Wait for a signal, right?"
Did he? I kind of blacked out for a second.
I think so.
All right. We better be ready, though. Get your pistol out.
He has pistol lying right next to him, musket kind of like in his arms, and he's like, "Can you provide some light?" He pulls out the bazooka, gets down on one knee.
I shall teach him. I shall teach him.
"When the time is right, could you provide some light?"
I can, yeah. Take a second to do it.
Okay.
I can
It's up to you,
I
but
can make this bush glow in front of us,
that would be perfect.
right? We'll be kind of
Okay.
like shiny beacons once it happens.
I mean, once it happens, it's happening. I'm not stealthy. I make a lot of noise. So,
Fair enough.
as you guys are speaking, instead of constantly redrawing the black blight,
Sure.
as they move forward, it spreads with them. About fell out my chair earlier. So I'm going to move them, 10 feet closer for the time being.
Okay.
5, 10, 10.
And I did, if you do recall,
10,
my
10.
my maul is frozen.
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
you created your magic right, and you
Yes.
only took 1 point of damage,
Yes, I
I
did.
do believe, which
Because I
is
bit my cheek.
crucial. Yeah,
It's reasonable.
absolutely. They're kind of closing in on you, and you see the worried look flash across Carlisle's face as like beads of sweat start trickling down him. There is no sign of the lion folk. They move another 5 feet closer, and you feel your blood pressure spiking. You yourself are starting to get nervous.
Yeah.
And you and Carlisle are just exchanging these glances. They're closing the distance. They were at 60. They're at 45 now, I think. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. Nice. I was doing my math right. 45 right now. Still nothing. 40 feet. They get to one of the last bushes in front of you, kind of separating between you and Carlisle, and they start hacking into it, and you can see it just kind of like fade away into dust, like Thanos snap. 40 feet turns in to 35 feet, and then you really start to question, were we waiting on their signal, or were they waiting on our signal?
Okay.
And you're kind of peering through the bushes, and Carlisle's like, "Carson, what's happening out there?" And just as he asks, rising from behind the creatures, almost as if they were part of the shadow themselves, the lion folk all stand up. The yellow one is going to represent Chief Gordon.
Okay.
As they rise up from seemingly the shadows, you see them all like stand back, and huck spears in the direction of these. Now, granted, I do have only 6 enemies and 5 friendlies in place. The way we're going to handle this is they're actually going to work as like pairs, essentially,
Okay.
just to kind of like slim down the combat. And then we're also going to basically do a group action. So there'll be your guys' combat, but then like you'll have a group. So it'll be like pairs fighting each other until we slim the herd down. If that makes any sense.
Okay. Yep, I believe so.
Yep. Okay. Basically, like all the pairs will roll their attacks together. You will roll for the lion folk. I will roll for the Surians, but their initiatives will happen on just one initiative. Like
Okay.
Surians will have one initiative. Lion folk will have one initiative. You and Carlisle will have your own.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Okay.
Okay. So, as they all stand up, they huck the spears. I would like you to roll 5 d20s for 5 separate attacks. And then your modifier for the d20 is going to be a +4.
Okay. So I rolled an 11.
An 11 total.
Yep.
Okay. First miss.
Then the next lowest is a 16.
Hits.
Everything else is higher.
Okay.
Or no, there's a 13.
There's a 13. Okay. So the 13 will miss, and
Okay.
the 11 will miss.
So 16 and 23, 23.
Okay.
Roll
Awesome.
Two 19s.
So 3, technically 6, will hit.
Okay.
But again, like we're just gonna thin them out.
Sure.
Everything's divided by 2, so 3 of those hit. If I could have you roll 1d6 per hit, so 3d6
3d6.
total. Yep. And then on top of that, you will be adding a +2 modifier.
You get them all independently.
Yes, please.
+2 modifier, so I've got a 4, 6, and 3.
4, 6, and 3.
So 3, 4, 6. That
Okay.
helps.
I'm just gonna say they're attacking kind of like these close ones. So
Okay.
4, 6, 3 is what you said, correct?
Yep.
Okay. Awesome. So red takes 4. Black 6. And orange is 3. Excellent.
Would I have been able to release light on this bush?
Yeah, absolutely. So as soon as you see the signal, you release the light cantrip on the bush, emanating light. What is the radius for the
Of
light
light?
cantrip?
I think it's 20. Yeah, so 20-foot radius of dim light.
20-foot radius. Okay, so
Oh,
5,
excuse
10,
me.
15.
20-foot bright light, then 20-foot, so it's a 40
Oh,
foot
okay, cool.
total.
So yeah, you can definitely see past them. The bright light doesn't quite make it to the Surians, but the dim light does. So you can kind of see the shadows of their movement there. Technically, you probably wouldn't even see the lion folk rising up out. Like you would just all of a sudden see all the spears. Yeah, impacting and then kind of like staggering forward. The Surians let out this cry of surprise in a language you do not understand, kind of like this guttural, clacky language. As they start to turn around and attack. The bush lights up, so I'm going to send these first 2 moving towards the bush. Before I do that, I'm going to have you roll for initiative.
Oh.
You're the only one I don't have. I had initiative for everybody else,
Did
pre-roll
you have
them.
hack too?
No, I need you to roll his as well.
Hack would be perfect.
I was sitting there, I was like, man, I'm forgetting something.
Yikes.
Hack rolls low.
It does. I rolled an 11 plus 1, so I rolled a 14.
A 14. Nice, so you're right before Carlisle.
I know I saw initiative on here.
It should just be
It's-
dexterity modifier.
You're right, I'm dorky. That's a 5 for heck.
5 total. Okay, awesome. So, with initiatives taken, we're starting off the top of the round with the Surans. 2 of them go rushing towards the light up bush. Let's say 2 of them will just only represent by 1, actually, now that I think about it. What is their movement speed? 30. Okay. 5, 10, 15, 20, 30. Okay, so they get right up to the bush. You guys are technically hiding behind the bush, but there is also now bright light. So as they rush forward, they shout out, and try to gather the attention of the other ones. However, many of them are going to turn around. 10, 15, 20, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 to Gordon. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Almost gets to him. This guy, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 is going to come towards you guys. So technically there's 4 coming towards you.
Okay.
6 going towards the lion folk. The Surans are going to make their attacks against the lion folks. 3 going to attack. Modifiers for these folk are a +3. So against the lion folk, we have a 12. So first miss, an 11, second miss, and then an 18. The 18 is going to hit as they go in with their. They have like these like gnarly, like very jagged scimitars of deep black, and that's what they're using to hack into it, and that's causing the decay. So one of them is going to land the hit. It was 1, 2, 3. So the one against Gordon is the one that's going to be attacking and hitting him. For a D6 is the scimitar damage. Scimitar for a +2. Is that correct? +1 on the modifier. Okay, awesome. So with a 1 on the dice, 1 is the modifier.
Nice.
He takes 2 points of damage to Chief Gordon. And you hear a war cry, and not so much a war cry as a war roar erupt from the lion folk in response. As we move forward to your turn, Carson, as 4 of these Surans are kind of like encroaching upon you quickly, rushing forwards, you standing up behind the lit up bush, and all of a sudden, 1's right in front of you. 2 are right in front of you, technically.
Hammer's to my right hand.
Yep.
Push off the ground with my left, swing around the bush, grab it, drag the hammer against the ground, and just as much force as I can put behind this, just feeling the crackle of the frost like wavering through the air as I just go whoosh right into the side of this guy's head.
Heck yes. Absolutely.
Come on, Dare Dashi. Not bad, actually. Not bad. Don't know why I'm looking at it. 16 to hit?
A 16 does hit. Oh, golly gee willikers. I was actually looking at the wrong Suran. Did you say let's make lose it?
Yeah.
Go home.
You want me to separate cold damage out at all?
Actually, good point. Yes, I would like you to.
1.
1 on the cold damage? Okay.
Yeah.
So,
No,
we'll just ignore that number.
9 points of bludgeoning damage.
9 points of bludgeoning damage, right on. Okay.
Yeah.
So as you go and you smash into, you see the typical frost effect that almost looks like it transfers straight over from your hammer. Basically, like if you imagine the inertia of your hammer as it hits, that frost kind of like pushes forward into them typically, and it kind of like recharges between swings. The frost impacts into these creatures and almost just has absolutely no effect. But the hammer swing itself is a massive impact as you crack into the backside of their head, and they kind of like stumble forward. First attack, anything else from you? Action bonus, or that was your action? Bonus action?
No.
Probably most of your movement there too. Technically you were prone. I wouldn't say like fully prone because it's more like a crouch. And then you only use like 10, 15. Yeah.
No, I think, yeah, that's pretty much all I can do. I don't have anything else. So yeah.
Okay, awesome. Carlisle stands up from behind the bush and he says, "Die, invaders!" As he...
Space invaders.
Space invaders! Get out of here! I had to find Carlisle's cheat. There it is. He stands up from crouch, taking his musket shot.
Come on.
Whoo, baby! That's a 22 to hit.
You
The
really-
musket hits pretty heavy with the D12.
A 12.
A 12 on the
He's
dice.
pumping damage,
Golly.
baby. Let's
Okay,
go.
yeah, right on. Okay, so
Where you get out it?
Carlisle stands up with the musket. He says, "Die, invaders!" Cow! Unleashes a massive crack, and this one is completely the two in front. You kind of had like hit one. This is the only part that gets a little hairy with dividing them between the two. You smack them, perfectly align their heads. He takes a second shot and slices between the two of them, immediately killing off the first one. I'm just going to trade him out because I like this mini the most.
So there's
Bam. You kill two in one blow there, essentially. In the hairiest sense of the form of like not bogging it down with 22 combatants. So Carlisle stands up, unleashes the musket, and even he's shocked as he's like, "Oh,
well done,
yeah.
Well done.
Couldn't have done it without you, Carson."
Well,
and he leans
reciting
down.
that pistol and worked.
He leans down and grabs his pistol, and he's readying himself for the next round of attacks. Prior to that, the lion folk in the back get to go. So, with that in mind, 5 of them get to make their attacks against these Surans. If I could have you roll 5d20 for me.
Okay. This will be blue.
Blue. Miss.
5 plus. Green.
Green.
7 plus. I think that's a miss too. That's 4, right?
7 plus 4, that's a miss.
11. Captain 14.
Just miss.
Dang it. Purple 7. Oh wow.
Okay.
Was it 1 over 10? With 10 and below on 5 dice.
Yeah, I would say 10 was
All
the
right,
highest
I'm
there.
the new Carlisle.
Yep, absolutely. Hey, somebody's got to take one for the team, and it's you this
There's
week,
no
baby. It's
natural
not
ones.
me. You got that right. Okay, so the lion folk kind of taken aback by the veracity of these attackers as they go in and do not make any contact. However, it is Pack's turn. I'm also going to move Carlisle here, just a little bit away. But
Yeah,
yes,
Hack will just sprint. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25.
right on. Okay,
That's it.
straight up to
Yeah.
2 of them over here as the Surans are advancing.
Right, he's got his battle axe.
And she.
One armed. Yeah, one-handed. I mean, not one-armed, but 11 plus to hit. 18.
Ooh, nice. That does hit. That does hit.
Plus is gross.
No kidding.
It's plus 7.
Oh, yeah, he does have like the fighting style, I think, as the sidekick.
4 points of damage.
4 points of damage.
One
Okay,
on the
4
dice.
points to the white Suran, who has not been damaged yet.
Nope.
An excellent hit. Okay. So Hack up there kind of like slashing into 2 of them as the 3 of you are fighting your own battle against the others. It is now the Suran's turn. So we're just going to start with white as he's going to go and to attack. Ooh, you see that one? Right off the natural 20 for a 2
That was
total.
wild.
That one's definitely going to miss. We're going to roll over to Tan, who's just going to kind of curl around here and attack Blue. A Tan is going to miss with a 5 on the dice.
Sick.
Green. Natural 20, baby. Mark it down.
You said green?
Yes, that's
Oh,
right.
yep. Sorry.
Yep, no, you're good. It is a d6, so automatic 6 points of damage as we max out the damage dice, and then we roll for the additional. So 1d6 plus 1 is a 5, plus 6, 11 points of damage.
Very nice.
And then a d8. I do need to double the d8. I said 11?
Yep, 11.
Okay. So then that would be 8 plus 5 would be 13. So total of 23 points. No,
Ooh.
24 points. Sorry, my math is
Yeah,
really bad there.
13 plus 11 is 24.
Yep, 24 points of
No.
damage from green to yellow,
Ooh.
who is Chief Gordon, who takes a
Chief
massive
Gordon.
hit. As you
Yeah.
see him the Surian kind of like takes this wild swing with the scimitar and cuts deep into Gordon, this gash across him. These lion folk have kind of like this darkish black fur, like grayish black, charcoal, I guess you could say. But you immediately see the color difference as the wound starts to kind of like creep and necrosis starts to spread throughout his body. Not looking good for Gordon. Indian Green over to Black, who is attacking Lime Green of the Lion Folk. For a total of 13 is going to miss. And then Red on the Surans is a 15, just misses. Okay,
Nice.
so with only Gordon taking a heavy hit there, the Surans and the Lion Folk are just kind of like sparring back and forth, blocking, and you can kind of hear the thick of battle going on behind you guys as you are fighting your own up here. Back to you, Carson.
I start sprinting off and I go, Carlisle, finish these ones off with hack.
Got it!
10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And then I'm just going to launch. If I turn out my wings, is it 30 feet of movement or 60? I can't remember. Equal to my speed, so it doesn't matter. I'll launch a Eldritch Blast.
Okay, right
Which
on.
I still like comes from my hammer as
Yeah.
I'm sprinting. It's almost like a lacrosse throw.
Yeah,
And so
absolutely.
I just take them all and I just throw the
That's exactly what I was
Eldritch
thinking
Blast.
too. Yeah, heck
Yeah.
yes, that's awesome.
So,
Right on. And as you approach, you kind of get the full effect of how insane this throng of battle is. Like, this is not something you've quite seen before.
No.
And you are fighting a full-on war at this point.
16 hit,
16 just hits.
8 points of damage.
8 points of damage to which one were you aiming at? You can
Going
really
green,
hit any.
dark
Okay,
green.
green.
Yep, he's the
Dark
one
green. Awesome.
Closest to me in attacking.
How many points? I'm sorry.
Chieftain.
8?
8 points of
Okay.
damage.
Excellent. Excellent.
Straight roll action.
14. All right. So you rush forward, hucking a Eldritch Blast via the hammer at Green, who kind of takes this massive hit from you. Carlisle, he's like, oh, he's got a lot of faith in me. He's gonna run. I just like this. He's gonna kind of like move forward to get around the bright bush, take the pistol, and he's going to take a crack.
Moment of
at
truth,
the
Carlisle.
Saran. You got it, baby.
You've been challenged.
Ooh,
Let's
with a
go.
14 on the dice. That's going to be a 21 to hit.
Let's go, Carly.
The revolver is 2d8 damage.
Dang, really?
Yeah, it is.
Nice.
Not bad damage, not bad damage. 9 plus the modifier of 3 is 12 points of damage to White, who is still hanging on. I guess this is the perfect time to iterate that there were 2. He rushes around, takes a shot, cleaning off one of them entirely.
Nice.
So it's now just Hack and one of the Surons as another one falls limp to the ground. Carlisle, that was his action. Bonus action, negligible here. He's going to move like 10 feet. He's going to rush forward here. He's like, Hack, finish him! I've got caution! And you can kind of hear him kind of doom, 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 thundering up behind
You
you.
hear Hat go, you have a lot of faith. in Morse code with his eyes.
Yes. Blink, 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 blink.
Yeah,
Stop.
you have a lot of
blink,
faith
stop.
in
blink,
me.
Blink, blink. Absolutely. Ending Carlisle's
So
turn,
funny.
going to all 5 of the lion folk.
Big guys.
Now, I will tell you, the Chief Gordon is very, very hurt at this point. Kind of like staggering, standing. So if it's like a tactical retreat for him at this point, up to you. I will leave you that choice. However, all the other 4 or technically 9, are doing well.
I guess he would have moved up that last turn so he could attack.
Yeah, for sure.
He'll take
Green
an opportunity
is-
attack.
He sure would, yeah. And Green is not looking great at this point either.
He'll use his action to disengage then.
Okay, awesome, yeah. Action to
5, 10,
disengage.
15, 20, 25. So you just get some space there, spins around,
Okay,
and then let's go 1 up on everybody.
yep, absolutely. Okay, so light blue turns
Okay.
to attack. I guess let's start working clockwise. As Gordon kind of like takes a tactical roll away. Oh yeah, you're clockwise. It's
Just
opposite.
kidding. My move.
He takes a tactical roll away and kind of stands looking back at you.
We've got you. Don't worry, Chieftain. Okay.
Don't rely on me for that role play right
22.
there. I've blanked out. 22 absolutely hits.
What was the damage? I'll roll.
D6 on the spears because they are wielding shields.
Shoot. 4 plus
4.
2, 6.
6 points of damage. Awesome.
Purple on dark green. Darn it, that's a 13.
A 13 is going to miss against him.
Okay. Green, 8. They like bounced off.
Over to blue.
8.
Dang. Okay.
That's
so,
right. It is what it is.
Yep. No, absolutely. Okay. Ending the lion folks' turn as they're just kind of returning the volley of attacks. Gordon has separated himself and looked back to you. And he's like, "We fight to death." As he ironically just rolled away. Can't kill the chief, right?
That means it's also tactical. There's
Yeah,
nothing wrong with
absolutely. I mean, they're not dumb by any means.
that. Yeah.
Okay, ending the lion folks' turn, it is to Hack. So Hack, facing down with the Suran
He
down
does
here,
what
the
he does
last
best.
one.
He starts hacking.
He sure shall.
No, he doesn't.
No,
That's a 9. Total.
9 is going to
2
miss.
on the dice.
Okay. Yep.
So he just like
Rough.
he pulls a big swing and he like looks around. All of a sudden he's nice by himself.
Yeah.
And he like takes a big swing, easily gets parried.
Yeah, I would say the
And you
Suran
see
just
him
lifts the scimitar and
shink,
just
shink,
catches it.
Shink, shink.
And he kind of like looks at the thing curiously.
Oh, gosh.
It's Kragator.
Yeah, the long neck comes down on him.
Yeah, of course. Top of the round, back to the Surans. We're going to start off with the White. So White is going to
Not my boy.
right into Hack, take his attack. With a 6 on the dice, is not even going to get close to hitting Hack's
No way.
AC.
Not with my shield out.
Not at all.
21.
Okay, moving over to Tan attacking Teal. With a 13 to hit, misses. Dark Green is just going to focus in here. Nice. Okay, 18 to hit, which will hit, so that's going to be a d6 plus a d8. The d6 is the scimitar damage, which is a total of 3 points of damage.
Nice.
And then necrotic damage is 4, so a total of 7 points of damage to the purple lion folk.
Okay.
They go hacking in, and you can see even from the small nicks and cuts, there's kind of like this necrosis that starts to seep. That was dark green, so we're going to go to the black Suran. Oh, with a 19, that one hits against light green here, so d6, d8.
Darn.
D6 is 4 points of damage, D8
Ooh.
is the 8, so that's 12 points of damage to lime green. Massive hit to that. And I would say that actually knocks down one of the 10 lion folk. Basically, like if they're hitting half their hit points is when I'm going to say like one of them dies. So
Okay.
one of the lion folk falls to the blade,
Shoot.
and you can see the necrosis immediately like overtakes their body, and by the end of like this very same turn, completely
Oh,
gone.
really?
Yep,
Oh, shoot.
absolutely
Okay.
dusted. Lime
Jeez.
green done. Red attacking blue is going to miss. They're just sitting there back and forth parrying, matching blow for blow against the lion folk. Ending the Suran's round, taking you, Carson.
I begin sprinting.
Yep. You
5,
see one of the
10,
lion folks
15,
completely dust
20,
in front
25, 30.
of you. 30, right on.
As I'm sprinting, a light like ignites inside of me.
Oh, yeah.
It like flashes. Goes 3 feet, 5 feet, 8 feet, 10 feet. And as my bonus action, I'm going to use my Celestial Revelation to
Heck yes.
use Inner Radiance.
Okay.
So I shed a bright light for 10 feet and dim light for an additional 2. And at the end of each of my turn, at the end of each of your turns, each creature within 10 feet of you takes 2 radiant damage.
Oh, nice. I like that. Okay.
So
End of your turn, they take 2 radiant
Yes.
damage? Okay, cool.
within 10 feet, so I at least get 2. But then I come up and I just smack.
Does it say
on the
creatures
back.
of your choice or all creatures? I would
It's a
assume.
great question.
I would assume it would have to be creatures of your choice, because that seems like a terrible
It
grenade.
does say, technically speaking, it does say each creature within 10 feet of you takes 2 radiant damage, which doesn't make sense.
It sure doesn't. Man, to be evil and just go ahead and dole that damage out regardless. Read it for me again, real quick.
It's like reading the whole entire thing from the top.
Yeah.
So when you reach the 3rd level, you transform as a bonus action using one of the options below. The transformation lasts for 1 minute or until you dispel it. Once you transform, you can't do it until long rest. So once on each of your turns before the transformation ends, you can deal extra damage to one target when you deal damage to it with an attack or a spell. The extra damage equals your proficiency bonus. The extra damage type is either necrotic for necrotic shroud or radiant for heavenly wing and inner radiance. We're supposed to deal extra damage. Doesn't say that at all for the heavenly wings.
So you get the extra radiant proficiency bonus damage on your attacks regardless for this turn then. Like
so
while it's up.
searing light temporarily radiates. Yep, I don't want that, thank you. Temporarily radiates from your eyes and mouth. For the duration, you shed bright light for 10-foot radius and dim light for additional 10 feet. And at the end of each of your turns, each creature within 10 feet of you takes radiant damage equal to your proficiency bonus.
Okay.
So it says each creature.
Yeah, I would say, truthfully, I would say that does affect everybody in the general radius.
Okay.
But...
yeah, live and you learn.
Yep, absolutely.
So
that's a very interesting...
It is very goofy.
Yeah. Huh.
As I sprint up the mall, goes back to the left side, and I just go straight to the back of dark green.
Yeah,
here.
Absolutely.
Come on.
You kind of blindside him as you sneak up behind him. I see a big number.
16.
Nice. Very nice. Yep, definitely is going to hit.
21.
Yep. 100%.
Let's go to the blue. We need some frozen. It should always be blue, probably.
Yeah. Roll the cold damage separately for me, please.
No, don't naked. 3.
3 cold damage. Okay. And this is to green.
Nice. You see the 6 and then fall by the 1. So 7 to 10.
10 points. Very nice. Okay. You take out one of the Surans, leaving just one of the pair of green standing. And even the one that is left standing is kind of like dazed from the smack from the hammer. Then it does take the radiant damage,
2 points
correct?
of radiant damage.
And it's everyone within a 10-foot radius, right? Okay.
So it would be these 4.
Yes. Okay. So purple is 2.
Yeah.
And then
light green is 2.
Light green is 2. Okay.
Yeah. Dark green is 2.
Dark green is 2. Awesome. That puts him even closer. Embarrassingly.
And then black is 2 as well.
Black is 2. Okay. Awesome. Okay. As you erupt in this radiance, all of the lion folk and the Surans surrounding you kind of like shield their eyes, and you actually see one of the Surans is kind of like penetrated from the light itself as it erupts from you.
So kind of like knowing that it comes from my eyes and mouth, I mildly freak out a little bit. I'm like,
yeah,
Carlisle, it's coming out of my mouth.
It looks like you're just like vomiting radiance, and as you
I
kind
look
of
at the dark green to the next to me, I just like hold it open.
And as you turn your gaze to the blacks, one of them just kind of erupts in this like starry explosion.
Oh, sick. Okay.
That's your bonus action and movement. So I believe you are done. Awesome.
Everything he got.
Okay. Carlisle shouts. He's like, "No hack left behind!" And he's going to take another revolver shot at the Suran over here. That's going to hit. Carlisle's on a roll. 22. No missed shots for my boy.
You should have said that out loud.
I know I shouldn't have. It's okay. Hot dog damage too. 16 points of damage. So this dude is absolutely obliterated.
Sweet. Good job, Carlisle.
As this Suran kind of has like hack wrapped up and is like trying to stab into his steel armor, Carlisle's like, "Not today!" Eliminating him from the battlefield.
Just pops off the base of his neck. You know what I mean?
Perfect, just like straight off.
Knowing Carlisle's just like, I'm gonna be pinpoint accurate this time, and he just like perfectly blows the bottom of that guy's neck off to his head, just like starts flipping with that long neck.
Let's see. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. He rushes forward and he's like, Gordon, are you okay? You look bad. And he's just going to hunker down behind the bush with him, turning to the lion folks' turn.
Sick.
Absolutely. So, running around the clock here, clockwise, counterclockwise, whichever way you want to be. Announce who you're rolling for.
Blue.
Blue.
13.
13 is going to miss.
Big yikes. Purple. 12.
Miss.
All right, we're going to go to the box in this one. Light green. Natural 1.
Oh.
What is happening? What is going on?
Like all around you, it is just the constant like clang, clang, clang of weapon on weapon on weapon on weapon.
20.
20 does hit, and that was for blue.
Yeah.
Okay, I was saying I think that was the last one left. So blue and red.
3. So 5 points of damage.
5 points of damage to them.
Mark down that natural 1.
Yes, please do, please do.
I gotta mark down my.
Blue does manage to hack down one of the Surans, kind of like pinning him into the ground with his spear and twisting
My
it.
first natural 1 of the campaign.
Is it really?
Yeah.
That's not fair, man. You gotta catch up. You got like 10 to go.
10? You're at 16.
Oh,
Dude, that one day you had like 12.
that's true.
So-
Yeah, that's true. I didn't know I had
Don't-
16.
Yeah,
That's
go back.
insane.
It's like episode 4.
3 or 4? Yeah,
Hopefully you guys enjoyed that one.
God, it was a bad one. It was a bad one. For me, not for you.
No, it was almost bad for me too.
Gordon would also have anything to do.
Does
if
he have any
would
range?
Like, he can chuck his spear.
So he just spins and then chucks it at the back of red. Come on, Gordon. This is the natural 1 dice. You just...
You called it, dude.
Great jinxed me.
Oh, you called it.
We're just going to go ahead and remove
Yes,
that.
yes,
For those at
yes,
home, that was
yes.
another natural 1 on the
So-
same dice. I tried to redeem it.
Gordon is trying to prove to himself, to you guys, and his tribe. He stands up and he kind of like staggers in and of himself, and you can see him hurting. And he goes to huck it, and it is just this weak throw that basically impacts into the ground right behind Black, maybe going a total of 5 feet. And he falls down to one knee. Ending the line folks' turn. It is Hack, sitting way back in the pack. Yeah.
I think he's 30. Let me make sure it's not 25.
I would say he can take the dash action if so
I'm
needed.
doing it.
Okay. I would say he's way back.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50.
Right on. Okay. Leaving the glowing bush behind.
Actually, he probably would go 45, 50, 55. So he'll go between those two.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. Awesome.
Shizzle my nizzle.
Rushing up to them, but having nothing else to do, takes us to the top of the round. Back to the Surans. We'll start over with Tan attacking light blue. With a 13 total, is going to miss.
Excuse me.
Green is going to turn its attention on you as you have posed quite the threat.
Good.
Gonna miss with a 11.
Yeah.
Definitely misses.
Yeah.
Black is
just-
going to attack lime green. Oh, nice. With a 19 total, Black does manage to make its attacks with a d6 for the scimitar. 5 points on the scimitar damage. Golly, where did that even go? Bounced off into oblivion.
Shall we say that one?
Man, that's not fair. I got the rubber dice.
No, that's of your own personal cause.
You're right. 2 points of necrotic damage on top of the 5 points. So a total of 7 points of damage to Lime Green. Lime Green was already one of the ones that had lost one of the Lion Folk pair. You see the other one is barely standing at this point.
Shucks.
He is getting slashed, and you see this large gash all the way across like one thigh, down into like the inside of his thigh, and you can see the necrosis starting to spread up and up
No.
to the point
Okay.
where like it looks like amputations in this guy's future.
Oh, jeez.
Maybe we'll see. He's not looking good in the slightest. Ending Black, we still have one more with Red. Red takes his attack onto Blue with a 15, just going to miss.
Okay.
The Lion Folk kind of take his shield up and bash the attack away. Ending the Surans go, it is over to you, Mr. Carson, in the
He
thick
looks
of it.
really bad, right?
Very rough.
How does Black look?
Black looks okay. One of the pair of black is down. The other one is like pretty much healthy, but half health
Okay.
for all intents and purposes.
I'm gonna turn my focus to Black.
Your radiant damage continues every turn.
It's for a minute.
Okay, cool.
And I wanted to know that Hack stays on that side. He can finish him. These guys have been pretty much interlocked. Not much changing.
Not a heck of a lot's going on in that corner.
I know Lime Green is almost toast, so I want to try to...
Correct.
Yeah, I'm going to switch to Black.
Okay. So you go to defend the Lime Green Lion Folk, as he is in rough shape. 12 is going to miss. You go to slash, missing. However, your radiance around you is going to continue in this bright light spreading about. It actually, you kind of like look back over your shoulder and the radiance impacts into Green, obliterating him.
Oh, really?
As well. Yeah, he had 1 hit point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
so Green goes down at that point with your Radiance. The Radiance does continue to attack into Purple for 2 points of damage, into Lime Green for 2 points of damage, who looks even rougher.
Shoot.
Yep, they're not looking good in the slightest. And then Black as well, who is standing, but just barely. That is action. Bonus action is still on the table. Movement still on the table.
Well, everybody took damage, so technically you called my turn then.
Okay.
Because they don't take damage till the end of my turn.
True. I apologize.
Would I notice that they took damage last time?
Yes, absolutely. I was going to say,
would I know that my Leonin were searing?
Yeah.
Like, could I at least, back...
Yeah,
would
absolutely.
He be... He's still technically 10 feet, isn't he? That's still technically 10.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely is still.
Mm.
It's either that or run into Carlisle and Gordon. Or retreat entirely.
No. Yeah.
Okay. Staying into it. Awesome. Tough choice there. And it is truly the radiant from you is just creating heat waves of light and energy that is just impacting into everybody. And you can see the destructive force that's emanating from out you. And it's almost alarming.
Sure.
It's something you did not know that's within you.
Okay.
So staying put?
Yep.
Awesome. Okay. Moving forward, Carlisle, he's looks to Gordon and he's like, "You don't look so good. Hold on, hold still. I'm gonna see." And he kind of starts rubbing his hands together and imitating the mending magic that he had. And he's like, I'm not sure if I can. And he lays his hands on Chief Gordon and heals him for 1d8 plus his modifier.
Is he cleric now?
No. The world may never know.
The world needs to know.
So
So he can cast Cure Wounds?
He sure does.
At level 1? What?
Yep.
Are you
for
doing...
8 points.
Are we doing 24
Oh,
rules or
you're totally right. It is
rules?
sorry, we just played a little footsies
Yep.
there.
No one had to know.
Well, I did it once and I was trying to not find you. Did it twice. Yeah, it is. So that would be 2d8?
2d8.
And then it's still your modifier, right? 2d8 plus your modifier.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I rolled a 6 on the first one, so we're at 8 points of healing.
Exciting.
Oh,
24.
no way. I rolled 15 points of healing in that one go.
That's what I'm talking
So,
about, baby.
In the corner of your eye, as you are exuding this radiance, you see this kind of warm light start to ball up in Carlisle's hand, and he's not sure what to do with it, and then he just pushes it into the wound that is seeping across Gordon's chest, and it starts to beat back the necrotic spread. So 15 points of healing to our boy Gordon, who kind of stands bolstered, and he's like, "Great honor you have."
Yeah, dude. Creature touch regains a number of hit points equal to 2d8 plus your spellcasting modifier.
Incredible. I love that. Heck yeah.
Whoa.
Uh-oh. What'd you read?
I thought it increased by what the old one still does.
2d8 per level?
Using a higher level spell slot, the healing increases by 2d8 for each spell slot level above 1.
Dude, that's wild. Healing's busted. That's
You heal
awesome.
48 at level 2?
Why am I not playing a cleric? Like,
Oh, dude, that makes healing super fun
yeah,
again.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That is sweet.
Heck yeah.
So
I did not. I figured it was just 1d8 every level after.
But yeah, like it was in 2014. Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Everybody, go play clerics. Give them some love, because that's
druids, bards.
fire.
Yeah, no kidding. That's friggin' sweet. Okay.
Because is healing word the same then?
Action would be to cast the Cure Wounds. Bonus action, ain't got nothing.
Healing word's the
Movement,
same.
he's going
Healing
to
word is now
stand.
extremely strong.
No kidding. 2d4 per level and 60 foot of range.
And a bonus action.
Yeah, that's insane.
Especially how we play.
Yeah.
Allowing bonus action for allowing you to cast spells.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That might have to change then, maybe. Like, sorry,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That
No
was
kidding. Yeah.
side, it's real side, but that's crazy.
Sidebar: 2024 rules. We're all getting used to them because it's
Yeah.
only a year into them, and I don't even think we've had access to them for that long. So
Yeah, they just came out.
Yeah.
The player's handbook came out at the end of the year,
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, December. So
and this is our first campaign we've actually truly got to play with them.
Yeah.
So it's all brand new.
yeah,
Excuse us while
learn
we
with us.
Yeah,
No, it's
learn
a
with us.
part of the game.
It's a teaching moment
Yeah.
for me and you.
Yeah.
And you. Anyways, ending Carlisle's turn, comes to the Lion Folk's turn. Gordon is looking healthy at this point. Not like full health, but like the necrosis has stopped and all the black has kind of seemed to fade, and he rushes straight back into battle. Defending line, no less. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Leaping back onto him. Yeah.
I'm coming. More so. What did you... Yeah, he's got... You guys. Dude.
You gotta roll better, man.
You did this to me. It was +4, wasn't it?
Yeah, +4. 8's gonna miss. What are the flanking rolls? Would he be flanking?
We've established, instead of just doing an auto +2, I think.
Okay, so that would bring you to 10. Okay, dang. Nope, not quite. Yeah, instead, we do have a little homebrew rule of, like, instead of flanking being opposite, like, flanking is still opposite of the character, you have to be behind their line of sight. And instead of giving advantage, which gets a little out of hand with a lot of characters, it is just a flat +2 bonus to your attack rolls. So
I can't actually. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know what the actual rule is
in 24.
Well, even in 2014, what the on paper rule is.
Yeah.
Okay, it must be the Dungeon Master Guide of Assigning Players.
Oh, yeah, I'll look into that. If you want to go ahead and orate what is going on with the other
Leonins.
Okay,
so Chieftain sprints in, goes to what are they called again?
Saran.
This
Saran
catches him out of the corner of his eye, is able to slide and parry with his scimitar, and with ease as he does so. We're going to go right off the bat. Lime Green's going to take his chance, knowing that he is looking rough. 9 + 4, 13?
13 misses.
Darn it, dude. All right. That's all right. Blue's been hot. Blue's going to swing. That's an 18.
18 does hit.
Nice.
And that's light.
Blue.
Dark
attacking
blue.
Red.
Awesome.
That's 7 points of spear damage, I believe you said.
7 points of spear damage to
Red.
Yes, okay, awesome. And Red had previously been cut down to just 1.
Nice.
And this one itself is looking pretty bloodied and haggard.
Okay. How does this one look?
Tan has
not taking hits.
It has taken a couple, but not much.
And blue still looks fine, right, on the Leonin side?
Yes.
They're pretty much interlocked. So
yep.
Purple's
Actually, teal is completely fine. They have not taken any damage at all.
Purple is going to go for a pack tactic kind of style here.
Okay, yeah.
And just circle 5, 10, and jump in the center.
Yeah, for sure.
Attack black. Try to help out green. Come on, purple. Went for the large roll, and it did not pay out because that's a 9 total.
9 total is going to miss.
And that's a 12 total for light blue to attack tan. So that one also
12
does not do anything.
Okay, gotcha.
Dude, I just cannot roll anything.
The thick of the battle is surrounding you as you hear the clanging of weapons. The lion folk are making a dent in the Surans, but it is a long fought battle here. That was all of the lion folk you ran through there?
It is.
Okay. that takes us to Hack.
Okay. Hack will at this point go to
Hack,
assist
chilling
here.
in the back.
Chilling in the back. with
Yep,
the
going to
tan.
attack
Smack.
Tan.
Yep, we're gonna go both back to gold.
Dude, you got to roll in the box, man.
Yeah, but I was rolling the box. That's why I rolled 2 natural ones. So I was going outside of the box.
Isn't that the natural 1 dice, too?
Yes, but
Yeah.
I rolled 12 total, so that'll miss.
12 is going to miss. Okay. But Hack is putting the pressure on the Tans.
Yeah.
Ending his turn, the Sarans are going to continue their assault in like a desperate attempt. How many are there left? 1, 2, 3. Man, they are real in it.
Which is technically 1, 1, and 2.
Yes. Yeah, red has
what you
1,
just said
black
there,
has
yeah.
1, tan has 2,
Yeah.
but 1 is barely standing. The disengage action only engages you from 1 creature, not all, correct?
No, I think it does all.
Okay.
Yeah, well, yeah, in fact, I remember that in our other game. Yes, it does all.
Okay, awesome. All of the Sarans are going to take the disengage action to run further into the blight. Movement speed of 30, so 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, just on the cusp of the map, onto your board. Sorry about it. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and that means this guy is right next to him. So they all kind of like tuck, roll, start pushing off all of them, and they're just like literally just pushing aside and scrambling for dear life, running backwards. Ending their turns takes us to you, Carson, as the Sarans begin to flee.
15 and 336.
Which one are you looking at?
I guess I'm just going to double check that disengage.
The disengage. Yeah, I was say like, I don't know per se if the verbiage says 1 or if it's all.
Your movement does not provoke opportunity attacks for the rest of the turn. So that would mean everybody.
Okay. That's kind of what I thought, but I also didn't
If you
find
take the
anything.
disengage action, your movement doesn't provoke opportunity attacks. I wonder why they repeat that twice. Yeah. So
Okay, good to know. Okay. Excellent.
My turn. Hey.
They do scramble, and in their like fast scramble, it's almost like all like they're just clawing at the ground, getting away desperately. In a rout, you chase after them.
Yeah, but as I run past Leona, I say, "Don't come closer. This energy, I do not want to hurt you."
Right on.
As my voice is a little deeper there, but it's more of a panic moment as I'm hurting them. Okay, I will take. Black looks rougher than red does here.
Red actually looks rougher.
Okay, so I'll go to try to eliminate here. So
Okay.
go for red, which we'll use the red dice. That was the 1, so I'm not touching it. Never
No,
mind. We'll
dude,
use the gold.
You should have rolled the red. Oh,
natural 19.
okay.
So that's a 24 for me.
Yes, nice. I'm glad you hit. I was getting worried about you for a
Nah,
minute.
don't you dare. That's a 3 on the cold damage.
3 on the cold damage to black.
Wait, I can re-roll, I think. What am I doing?
Reroll what?
Damage.
For
My 2-handed weapons. Yeah, you
yeah,
can re-roll
yeah,
1
yeah.
and 2s on me, and I just rolled a 1 and a 2. Let's run it back, baby.
Yeah,
I did that.
heck yeah.
Dude, a lot of my damage. That 1 I rolled is 6.
Yeah, rough.
2 and 6. That's a lot better, at least.
Yeah.
8. So 11 points of bludgeoning.
Nice. Okay, yeah, you take out as you kind of like rush
Do I get
up,
him?
and yeah,
Nice.
you rush up and clock this guy. I thought
Yeah.
you were attacking black.
You said whichever one was worse. I attacked the worst one. You said red was
Oh, okay.
worse.
Whoops. That's fine then.
If that would have done it for black, that's fine.
It would have
It's
done
not-
it for black. Black was healthier, so
No
we're just
problem.
gonna stick with that one.
So yeah,
it's
just
a little bit
sprint
easier
up,
playing.
sprint up back, small little leap, just to bring the maul up,
Yeah.
full force.
You just Looney Tunes the guy
Yeah.
straight into as you crush him into the ground.
So I guess at that point it's probably just like his back, since he's crawling forward.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just go to I'm gonna
Oh.
crack in the spine.
Rough. Oh god, that hurt.
Yeah.
The radiance emanating off of you
Oh, yeah.
impacts into Red, who continues to stumble and kind of he's running away from you in your brilliance.
In my last second, I just go, "And Femus's light will find you."
Right on.
As I'm just
yeah.
yeah.
Okay, that was action, movement, bonus action from you.
That was bonus action to say that with cool one-liners.
Right on. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Ending your turn comes over to Carlisle. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. pulls out his pistol and he's like, "You're not getting away from us, cacao!"
Pulls out the Glock.
With a 14 is just gonna miss Tan. It kind of like right past its head as it continues to run. We'll leave it at that one. Nah, man, he doesn't want him to get away. Action surge. He got another shot.
That was a wild roll.
It really was. That was fun.
paid off.
Heck yes. 24 total is going to hit for the 2d8 here. 13 points of damage to Tan. Tan is just still standing. That does eliminate one of them, so it completely obliterates
Nice.
one,
Okay.
passing through its like torso and into the thigh of the other one. So the other one's kind of like limping away at this point. Tan barely hanging on there. And you guys truly have them running for their lives at this point. Taking us to the lion folk, who do all have the ability to chuck their spears. I would say, like, at this point, Gordon could have gone and picked up his spear that he previously threw. I guess he did that last turn because he attacked. So
Yeah, because he came up to the back of Black and spun.
I like that. Kind of like rushes up, grabs it, and just missed anyways.
Yeah, missed it. He got parried. It was a fair.
Yeah, for sure.
So he'll spin, and he'll yell out for everybody to. You heard him. You heard him. Throw your spears. And
Do not let them escape.
There you go. Perfect. It's like you're the character or something. And
You nailed it too.
I was making it up. Yeah, so we'll just go 4 spear throws.
Yeah, right on.
What's the range on spears?
Range on the spear is 20, 60. So 20 disadvantage, 60. Or no.
5, 10, 15, 20. 5, 10, 15, 20. Everybody's at disadvantage.
Okay, cool.
Okay. This is for green. Nope, 9.
Missed on the green.
10.
Miss.
Blue's been my trusty one. No. Okay, we're going to get rid of them. Double 15s.
Heck yes. For Gordon.
For Gordon.
Right
so
on.
that's 10.
Okay. Absolutely.
D6.
So Gordon chucks the spear. You see it kind of in your
7.
peripheral. Impact straight into red,
Oh, yeah.
pinning him to the ground.
Let's go.
Pinning it to the ground, and kind of like it just stabs through him completely, and he like stops, and it's almost like he was stuck on a pike, and they just stuck right where he's at. If you wouldn't mind pulling it over
absolutely.
to me.
No, sorry.
Nice
Got
check.
Stuck on that. Got stuck on the board.
That would have been all the lion folk. You didn't do anything for blue, or did you? Did you
No.
roll 5?
I only did
4.
it 4 times.
Yeah, okay, so 5 would
disadvantage.
have one. And 5 didn't move, or sorry, the teal did not move.
No, I think
either.
he'll just go to regroup currently, and he's like kind of moving forward to kind of catch up, as keeping a little distance up
Okay,
here.
yeah, he sees the radiance, and he's
Yeah.
like, no, 10 feet, 10 feet. Absolutely.
We're just staying out of the.
Okay. Completing the lion folks' turn takes us to Hack.
He was. Is he technically off?
Yeah, so
5.
It is just 5 foot off the board there.
So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
Right on. Yep, gets
And
right
his
to
arm
him.
just immediately as he's running, he's sprinting, and his arm just like charging up,
Yeah.
and it just like starts to
yeah, absolutely.
the hack here.
Leveling up his wood chopping
10.
skill, and he misses.
Yeah.
He rushes forward and impacts straight at the heels of the Suran as it's fleeing. The Suran is going to take another 30-foot distance away. I don't know if there's any easier way. We can always move it that way if we really need to, or we can just know theater mine 30 feet away.
Yeah. So I'm technically 10 feet from him.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now you'd be 40 at this point.
He only moves 30.
Yeah. Oh, no, he would move 60 because he
Okay.
does the dash action as well.
Okay.
So, yes, dashing 60 feet away.
He's dashing through the
And you can see like this like green, greenish blood kind of just dripping off in globs behind him, and where it hits the ground, the ground already completely defiled, it just kind of like bubbles before being absorbed into the ground itself. So, ending the Suran's turn as it dashes a total of 60 feet away. Your turn. 70 foot away from him at this point.
I will charge up them all across there.
Yeah.
Eldritch
Yeah, I
Blast.
imagine you doing like this cool, like ninja flip, kind of like you use the...
Oh no, not yet.
Oh,
I'm not
Not that
acrobatic.
cool yet? Okay.
No way. Not acrobatic at all. My dexterity is pretty low.
Oh, okay. It's coming, maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe in the
A
future.
lot of training. 9.
9. Okay.
Man.
9 is going to miss. Ending your turn. Carlisle's turn. He is going to...
And I'll move 30 feet then.
Okay,
well.
so you move 30 feet,
So
distancing
40.
between 40 and him.
Yeah.
Okay. Carlisle has a regular range of 40 feet, and then a disadvantage range of 120. So would be at disadvantage even if he moved up 30.
Even with his musket?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oddly enough, that only has a 40-120 range.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, I would
Fair
say.
enough.
The firearms make very little sense. Like the published firearms, I don't know if I like them too much, but I don't know.
Okay. Fair enough.
Maybe one day I'll homebrew it. Maybe I won't. We'll just see. But yeah, anyways, he is going to take 30-foot movement forward.
Okay.
So he's kind of like keeping up with you guys, but that would still put him, if you
He's
were
20.
previously
So he's 70, so he was 80.
80 feet away. Okay.
He is initially. If he moves 30 up, then he'll be 50 away.
Okay.
So
Gotcha.
he'll be just outside.
Just outside.
Unfortunate.
I don't think there's any way for him to, because he already used the action surge. So, yep, he's full movement. You got it. 18 and a 16 on the dice. Yeah, no kidding. Okay.
Drop it down.
So, I really don't think I even need to roll this, but I suppose...
Oh, is he that low?
Yeah. Tan is dropping globs of blood, and even just the modifier that
That's crazy.
even the modifier Carlisle had would kill him. So 7 points of damage. Carlisle stops, like, pretty close behind you, and he's like, Carson, look out! Scow! Unleashing a massive blast from the musket, impacting straight into Tan and just taking him completely out at this point as he kind of like skids to the ground and dies.
First thing I do is like shut off this, like I blink. And,
Yep.
Stop.
Rub the sleep from your eyes.
Yeah, like stop.
Of course.
And I quit using, I guess one would say, or I drop
the
celestial
concentration.
revolution.
Okay, awesome.
Revelation.
Yeah. So you guys all kind of like stop. Everybody kind of like, slowing their run down after them as everybody is. All the Surans have been defeated at this point, and the Lion folk catch up to you and Carlisle. And Gordon is like, we cannot take this. Sorry. Backtrack. He says, battle is won. War is not over. Can you fly their ship?
We may be able to, yes. Why? Where to?
It should be close. And he kind of points off that way. And they all begin to jog off. Kind of taking off the momentum of what is existing, you guys rush into the shadowy area. For about, let's see, you guys have Lime is going to hang back. He's basically, that was the one that had like taken the deep gash. So we're going to take him completely out of the fight there, as he is a liability at this point, slowing down the pace. Other than that, there would be 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. So only 2 lion folk died. One of them hung back. So 7 of you rush forward alongside Carlisle, Hack, and yourself. You guys rush off into it, keeping up at a good pace. And you can tell that the lion folk even kind of have to slow their pace to accommodate for you guys.
Probably.
As you continue rushing forward into the darkness. At this point, it is getting to like a pitch black, and you can hear Carson behind you, or Carlisle behind you. It's getting too hard to see. Carson, can you light me up or something?
I'll just snap and put that light back on my finger again. And as we're running, I just kind of keep the finger pointed down.
Yeah, like a little flashlight straight on the ground.
To a way.
Perfect. Good thinking. You guys continue on your path forwards, and it's probably about a 3-minute jog or so before Gordon halts you. And everybody gets down, and he points
Drop
at your
light.
finger. Yeah.
Yep, drop light.
And he points off in the distance. He says, "There. 3 patrol. The ship will not be empty, but we can take it."
Does this benefit you if we wipe them now?
There will be more, but this will turn the tide.
No time like the present, then, Chieftain.
Agreed.
Surprise attack, then.
Okay. With that, I will change the battle map here just a little bit. We don't need any of the shrubbery because we are full on in the blighted area. It is nothing but barren, stripped landscape at this point, just pure black. And even you, with your dark vision, are unable to see where this ship is. He just kind of like pointed off in the distance. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95, 1, 5, 10. Okay, almost. Technically, it's at the cusp of 120 foot, but we'll put it at the 110 foot range, and that's going to be totally copacetic with me. Boink. Oh, I lost it. Okay. So you guys kind of halt far from the where the ship is located. You're brought to a halt, and Gordon kind of like drops down low into a crouch. And he reiterates, 3 patrol not far from the ship. If we take care of them, can you take care of ship?
As in, you want me to take it?
Take it. And we will come after we kill the others.
Yes.
Okay. Fight well. And he kind of hits you on the back. And then the 7 lion folk just disappear off. They quickly run off towards the side. And you and Carlisle are left standing there in the darkness of this expanse, knowing he pointed straight forward towards a wasp ship.
Oh, goodness. Okay.
Let me take it to you. As you, I will let
Carlisle.
you approach this how you want. Carlisle's breathing heavy at this point. He's
Does
like,
he want us to take the ship back
I think so.
to where his people are?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. We don't know what we're gonna have. Let me and Hat go first. You follow. Shall we sneak
Agreed.
up?
As best we can.
Okay.
Hold on. And he kind of just takes a small lead of rope, and he passes it to Hack. And he just looks at him, and he like pulls him real close because he can't even see, and he's like, "Don't let me trip, okay?" And for all intents and purposes, for now, he's going to be led on a leash, essentially, by Hack. So,
Okay.
as you guys begin to approach, possibly listening for anything to go on with the lion folk. As I said, there are only 3 of them patrolling, but we are here as you guys slowly approach. How would you like to approach?
I think for the most part stealthily and head on. Why?
Okay.
Because everything's undead, so the topography is pretty much going to be the same from anywhere.
Mhm.
So, unless I can make a perception check to see if I see the scouts coming or the patrol.
Yeah.
That might judge our movement, but
For sure.
yeah.
Go ahead and roll a perception check for me then.
5.
5. Okay.
Perception's
No.
pretty bad.
It is
Yeah.
truly dark here. Without any, there is no moon in the sky. There is no source of light anywhere around, not even a bonfire. And you can't even see the ship from the current distance yet. And so you just take him on his word that somewhere the scouts are out and the lion folk will take care of it. With that, you begin to move towards the ship. You mentioned stealthily. Is that the case?
Okay. Yeah, we'll do our best to be stealthful.
Absolutely. I'll have you roll a stealth for you and Hack. I believe Hack would have disadvantage due to his armor.
I do too, but I rolled 15 and 18, so I rolled an 18 on the dice.
Okay, awesome. Carlisle Colchester, not a stealthy individual. Roll a 7.
One wouldn't have thought so.
Who would have thought a massive GIF with firearms stealthy?
So this doesn't tell me anything about like what armor he's wearing or.
It would be plate armor for him.
Okay.
I should have written that down. I apologize.
Oof. 5 frag. 17 and a 3.
Okay. So you are moving the quietest out of all of them, but Hack and Carlisle are kind of making pretty similar amounts of noise, especially considering they're tied to each other.
Yeah.
And you can kind of just hear the crunch of the dead debris beneath their feet. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. Okay, I'm going to scoot you guys back just to keep you a little bit better in frame. Yeah, right there. So on the cusp of 60 feet where your dark vision can actually reach, you finally begin to make out the shape of
There it is, Carlisle. I see it. It's just up ahead, 50 feet, 60 feet.
Okay. And then you also can now make out where the other scouts are at. You see one way off over here, and you see another way off over here. Those would be the only ones you see at the current moment.
And which way are they moving?
They are both patrolling like this way, like basically following each other in a way, but
Interesting. Okay.
far from each other. I think maybe you would be able to see them at that point. They'd be right on the cusp of your vision, I suppose, but we'll just say like
60. That's 60.
yeah,
Because if this is 60,
that's true.
be radius.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, you can kind of see them following each other far away, about 100 feet from each other.
Yeah, it's only 50 to be there. So.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Oh, hold on. I see the scouts. Hunker down. Don't move.
And Carlisle and Hack both lay flat at the time. And you guys wait with bated breath as they're kind of slowly, like 5, 10, 15, 20. And whenever they get to about that point, both of them in your guys' sight range fall at this point. And just like all of a sudden you see 2 of them fall down, and then 2 lion folk at each side kind of like raise up out of the ground. And you rush forward 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. These guys taken out by the lion folk. The wasp ship is now coming into full view, and you get a good idea of what exactly you're looking with, what you're working with. The appearance and shape is similar to the scorpion ship. Like it is very, it is finely crafted and about the same size. The wasp ship, however, is made of wood instead of the metal. It is crudely constructed, but you see the segmented legs are kind of landed on the ground itself, and the long tail has set down on the ground, acting as a ramp all the way from the ground up to the top level. And then you also take note of, instead of sails, this has actual wings. And the wings are 4 wings that are attached up at the top deck and kind of just like resting down as well. So technically it would be facing tail
Towards us.
this way. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And then you also note that one of the Surans is obviously not to scale is just within the car, like basically standing on top of that top deck. Just
Oh,
kinda
he's up there.
Yep. So it would be like a ramp to get up to him, and then the top deck there.
Okay. One enemy right on top. He looks like he's looking around. There's no time like the present. We've got to move.
And I'm sure this may not be able to be made out on the video,
Maybe.
but you actually can zoom in on the video. I think I was able to do it on my end, so I'm sure you can. Essentially, what we're looking at is that would be the tail ramping up into the top deck, like the weapons deck, essentially there. So I can kind of draw that out, and it's a very small area there. We'll draw it out here, kind of like something like that. And then this is the tail portion. There's a little hatch. Boop, boop.
Just not to scale.
Yeah. I would say this is definitely not to scale.
It should be 25 feet wide.
Oh, it should. Shouldn't.
Yeah.
Take a closer look at this thing.
Yeah, the main deck is at 25 feet on the main deck at the rear.
It does look like the only like movable area is the part in white, so that's kind of what I would interpret as.
On the weapons deck. Understood.
Yeah,
Understood.
so it seems like the weapons deck is literally just like a place where the ballista is mounted.
Yep. I was falling forth on the main deck there, so.
Yeah, so that would be my assumption of what I interpret as the map.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
yeah, a pretty small little area just to the point where there is a ballista mounted up there. However, this Suran is not utilizing the ballista. He's more just like standing at a heightened elevation. I would like you to make a stealth check as you guys move forward.
Another one?
Yes.
14 and 15, so that's a 17.
14 and a 15.
Oh, good. My stealth.
Cocked.
With disadvantage, that's crazy. Hack's 19 and 12, so that's 14 for Hack.
Awesome. The 2 successes make up for the Carlisle
That's huge.
behind you guys. And you guys are able to make it up to the tail here.
Yep.
Free of any detection.
As I'm whispering, we're leaving. I go, Carlisle, just stay a couple steps back. Let me get on first. Be ready with the range.
I can stand down here. I can't see, but if you make light or anything, I can.
All right.
Or I can wait.
All right. Okay. I'm going to slowly start sneaking down.
Yep.
I tell Hack to wait with Carlisle then.
Okay. Hack and Carlisle waiting at the base.
Yep.
You begin to sneak up. 5, 10, 15, technically.
Yeah.
I'm going to have you roll for initiative.
Okay.
Just to kind of nip it in the bud. Just so we have initiatives.
Okay. 8.
8. Okay. You walk 15 feet forward, and you can kind of see him take his slow patrol around. And at this point, his back is to you. So, your choice.
My turn?
Yep.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, completely breaking stealth and a full sprint.
Awesome. Yep.
For a surprise attack at his back.
Yeah, for sure.
I do get it.
As you rush forward, you do take note of the trapdoor that's basically beneath your feet as you rush forward, attacking into him with your surprise attack. Yeah. So go ahead and roll with advantage.
Sure. 17.
17 does hit. Where did they go? Where did they go? Where did they go?
Don't have to take that from you. I can only do it once, can't I? I would assume.
Is it Great Weapon Master?
Yeah.
I think you can just keep doing it.
I know. It doesn't. I read it, and it makes it sound like you just keep doing it.
Yeah, I think you just re-roll.
You can re-roll a 1 or 2 on damage dice with melee weapons. I've never used two-hander before, so that's why I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's just like if you roll it, you can re-roll it once. You have to take the roll after you re-roll it, whatever it be, even if it is a 1 or 2.
Yeah.
But like you do get that chance to re-roll.
Oh yeah, I just know if it was more than once. Okay.
Yeah.
Frozen is 3.
Cold damage is 3. Okay.
Yep. And then my 10 damage in bludgeoning.
Awesome. Okay, so you rush up behind him, the cold kind of impacting into him, but not a heck of a lot. The weight of the hammer carries through, and you kind of see spittle fly from his face. You said 10 points of damage?
10 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay. Taking us right into initiative. Top of the round is to him. He rolled a 17 on his initiative, so he turns around and he's like, ah! Screaming at you.
I'm not scared of you. You space invaders.
You see his gnarly scimitar come from beside him, striking at you. Oh, baby, with a 22 to hit.
Dang it. Okay.
It's going to be a d6 plus a d8 of necrotic damage. I'll tell you the necrotic separately because I know you're resistant to everything.
You know that?
4 points of slashing damage and 5 points of necrotic. So that would be rounded down
7
to
total.
2. Yes, correct. So he
Okay.
slashes into you, and the warm radiance within you resist the necrotic effects for the most part. It is
My turn?
bonus action. It is going to, like, as it slashes at you, it takes this this round vial off of its belt. It just crashes it onto the ground. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
As a bonus action?
Yes, sir.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
It was a complication I did not want to introduce into a 22-man fight, so I was like, we're just doing actions on these guys for now.
7.
But one-on-one, a 7 fails the very low DC of 11. You said con save? Or you do a con save? Okay. You take the full 3d6 poison damage. And I just wanted to make sure I wasn't missing anything else in that sentence there. 13 points of poison damage as the kind of like the space that you're in is quickly filled with this noxious gas that you begin to choke on. Ending his turn, it is to you.
Okay. I'm going to...
Digging the tunes, Jason. Digging the tunes.
Just pull back here and make a solid attack.
Okay, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, dude, that's 20 space moves so close.
Oh, I got excited.
19.
19 definitely hits.
3 again on the frozen.
3 on the frozen. Okay. You can do it.
1 and 2. Dude, that's so good.
1 and 2 on both?
Yeah.
Rough.
Double 6s. 12.
Nice.
15 points of damage.
Okay, you take the hammer and you smash it into his head, and the weight carries his head straight into the deck, and you pancake between the two, completely crushing him.
Oh, you got him?
Yeah, absolutely.
Carlisle!
Ending that guy into the deck, there's the thud, and there's kind of like the silence after it, and you...
Yeah, I wouldn't have tried to, push him into the deck.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, that would make total sense.
Especially when I'm trying to be quiet, I would have just maybe hit him over if it's open in that area. Maybe
it sure is. It's
body
basically
just-
like a top deck open to everything else. So if you wanted to basically Happy Gilmore him straight off the edge, we can do that. Yeah, so he gonna Wilhelm scream, ah!
Yes, absolutely.
right off the side. Yeah. Once we get an editor, maybe sometime in the future, we'll insert that Wilhelm scream anytime somebody falls off something. But for now, we're simply dreaming. Like us on Patreon or whatever you do with that thing. So, ending this quick little combat session, you stand there amidst the silence and you... Carlisle!
I sneak back, but I don't cross the trapdoor. So that way I can see it and it's in front of me.
Okay.
And I just very gently finger inside, or something inside. Hammer put it inside, and I just light up the edge of the hammer just so like it's really shrouded.
Oh yeah.
Very much shrouded, and I can control the light completely.
Okay. Yeah,
And
kind of like a hooded lantern.
Yeah, just open it just a little bit. Carlisle, quick.
Actually.
Yeah, I should stage whisper probably.
and
Carlisle, quickly.
What did you?
Taken
What
care
happened
of.
to him?
Taken care of.
Hold on.
All right. You
I know
ready?
we had the right guy.
He claps you on the shoulder. He says,
Ready.
All right. Grab. Is the door open towards him, sideways?
it opens sideways. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Grab the door. I'm going in.
Okay. You tell him to grab
Yeah.
the door? Okay. So yeah, he pulls it sideways. What do you want Hack to do at this moment? Like, where do you want
Have Hack follow me immediately.
Okay. So yeah, Hack is going to kind of like just transpose himself there, and Carlisle, pistol in hand, musket slung over his shoulder. He like looks at you, nods, throws the door open.
Okay. And I go in first.
Okay. Yeah, there's kind of like a crude ladder that goes right in, and do you want to jump straight down or like take the ladder?
No, take the ladder because
Okay,
right now
cool.
we have no reason not to. Currently, I don't believe they have any reason to believe that something else is coming.
True.
So,
Yeah, you're kind of going the stealth mode. Yeah. So you
Semi-stealth at this point. Yeah.
you clamber down the ladder, and as you kind of like slowly lower yourself in, you begin to like choke on the horrendous smell within here. It is a smell of filth, rot, and decay, and you kind of see what you would assume to be like a cargo hold area where there is like small piles of like bedrolls and mats kind of like spread about, and then in other corners of this room, that would be this room right back here, 7, so that this weapons deck drops directly into here.
Okay.
So you're in a fairly small room, about like 15 by 25-ish feet wide. Like I said, there's a couple of bedrolls, absolute filth all around you. You also see questionable drying meat. Like it's like raw meat that's just kind of hanging.
Yeah.
And you can see like flies buzzing around it. But you are alone as Hack kind of like down the ladder behind you. And Carlisle's head peers down into the darkness, and he's like,
Carson, what's it look like?
It's awful. It's just terrible.
and it hits him. He's like,
Oh, goodness. Am I safe to come down?
I don't see anyone. I don't think. Oh, gosh, this is terrible. Yeah, follow me down. At this point, screw it. Hammer comes out. Like I'm keeping the hammer lit.
Yeah.
Now my hammer's just lit up.
Okay,
So it's
yeah.
like, you should be able to see just fine.
Yeah, absolutely. And as his like weight takes to the ladder, it kind of like groans underneath it, and he starts to clamber it down. As he stands next to you and like surveys it, and he's like,
This is, atrocious.
It's bad.
and you guys see a door.
Sorry, Hack.
Yeah, luckily Hack has no sense of smell. You see a door leading out of the cargo
He doesn't
hold.
smell through his eyes.
Blink, blink.
Everything happens to those things. Okay. Yep, I'll go and
Just wait till you watch him eat.
open the door.
Okay.
Yep, I will open the door.
Okay.
I'll take
awesome.
charge.
Yeah, hammer still out, lighting up.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. You open up, kind of like readying yourself to an empty hall. Nothing waits before you. It is. I guess it shouldn't be an empty hall. It is more of the same. This one looks like actual dedicated crew space where there's kind of like hammocks and cots set up, but the smell seems to be getting worse the further you're going within. And so at this point, you're kind of like borderline gagging. I will have you and Carlisle make Constitution saving throws.
Oof.
The DC is going to be a 10 for this one. Carlisle succeeds.
20.
20. Okay. Natural 20?
No.
Oh, okay.
The dirty kind.
Gotcha. You're able to
That's dark.
steel yourself past the atrocious smell, but it is distractingly gross. You look around in this one, in this room, and you see that there's like stores of ballista bolts. Contrary to the fine craftsmanship of Torvengard, these are kind of like a crude make that almost look just like they're cobbled together.
Oh, okay.
There's various states of unfinished meals, kind of like tucked around the bed arrangements, the cots, the hammocks. You see piles of like discarded cloths, genuinely just unkempt and filthy in this room.
Okay.
There's a hall open and leading out of this like crew area, and as you kind of like follow it down, the hallway splits off into three directions. You have directly before you is a door, and then off to either of your sides, kind of at angles. So you'd be standing here. There's a door that leads out, and then there's a door to either side.
So I would know that at least my either sides are probably the small rooms.
Yes.
Okay. So
Yep.
we're
And those doors are closed.
Okay. I'll go to the left one first. Then.
The left one first. Okay.
Ready.
Yep. As you open up the door, I will have you make another Constitution saving throw. This one,
Another?
DC 14.
Oh goodness.
Fail.
Okay. You suffer from the poisoned condition. Poisoned.
Do I?
Poisoned creature is disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks. Carlisle succeeds on his ability check. You creak the door open, and there's just like the softest groan. You peer inside, and the shadow, you're kind of like holding the hammer behind you, and it's just cascading a little bit of light within so you can see. You see a disheveled room of all sorts of trophies in various states of decay. Like some of them are full bleach skulls, some of them are skulls cut straight from the animal, like recently, to the point where there's still like a pool of congealed blood beneath them, and they're just kind of scattered all about the room. In one corner, I can draw this real quick. It's a pretty easy one. Here's the exterior of the ship. You are... Man, these old boys sleep in small rooms. Be something like that. And then two full spaces. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so this would be the door here. In this corner here, you see sleeping on the cot is another one of these Surans. However, this Suran is like a lot larger in terms of stature, not so much, but in terms of everything else, it looks like he's overindulged on this questionable meat. Has kind of like this grossly distended belly, and the smell seems to be emanating from it specifically as it kind of snores softly. Just above the bed, your eye catches and your breath catches in the back of your throat. You see a very familiar symbol, something that takes you back to the night of your death. The amulet that Cognan wore around his neck, the black, deep, the circular black disc with a radiant red eminence around the outside of it, is crudely painted just above the bed of this creature. As you and Carlisle stand here, Carlisle here, you guys are kind of like Scooby-Doo, Looney Tunes, whatever it is, peering into like head stacked, peering into the room, and you kind of have like, you're caught up in the moment of just staring at this symbol, knowing you've seen it before it hits you, and that nightmare of an evening comes back to you in like this quickest flashback, and then you're back into the moment, the sleeping massive Suran before you. Taking you away from it is this atrocious smell. And I'd like you to roll initiative again. 12. Okay.
He must die. That symbol is terrible, Carlisle.
Could you roll for hack?
Natural 20 for 22.
Ooh, baby! Okay.
Hack, go in.
Hack just blink, blink, and rolls. I always say roll. I don't know quite yet.
He's like a droidica.
Yeah, I was. I haven't
That's how I
quite.
imagine Hack to be.
Oh my god! Nope, canon. He's basically a small droidica. Especially the way he jumped off the ship. On Gregory Island.
Yes.
Absolutely, he's shaped like a droidica.
Ever since then, that's all I've ever imagined.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much.
I
for
need
that.
Zage. He has force field.
Heck
working
yes.
with
Oh, that's sweet. How do we give them the bonus action shield? Okay, yeah, so he kind of rolls in silently as he can into the room. And Carlisle's like,
Symbol. What symbol?
on the wall above him.
Let's get him.
Can I step in?
okay. Carlisle isn't going to crowd. He's just going to stand right behind you and kind of take his best line of sight there.
Look at Hack. Raise the hammer. And I'm just aiming for his neck. I'm just gonna pinch that thing.
Yep, absolutely. Hack simultaneously raises up. Take this in any order you want. If we want to go in the order of initiative of surprise round, we certainly can.
Yeah, we'll go Hack.
Okay, yep, Hack first, and then it's Carlisle, and then you.
Okay, so Hack has advantage.
Yes, sure, all of you do.
I do. I'll be a straight roll though.
What?
I'm poisoned.
Oh, correct. Thank you for your honesty.
Natural 20.
Yo! That's going to be wild.
Hockey.
Yeah, heck yes.
Natural 20 and a 19.
I love that. Dude, rolling hot. While you're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and roll for Carlisle.
Cool.
Okay, awesome.
That's a D8 plus a 1. So 9. Plus 3. 12 points of damage from Hack.
12 points of damage from Hack. That was on the natural 20?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oof, I rolled bad. 10.
10.
Yeah.
10 to hit?
Yeah.
On advantage. Oh, wait, no, you straight roll. Okay.
Yeah.
As Hack slashes into it, he kind of takes this deep cut straight into the gut, and it lurches forward, and you just miss, and you smash into the cot. As it sits forward, Carlisle from behind unleashes his bolt from the pistol. Is a 19 to hit, so that one is going to hit.
Nice. Okay, good. At least we went 2 for 3.
Oh, that certainly is a 1. 2 1s on the damage dice. That's
double
rough there.
ones.
Yeah.
Oh.
Plus his modifier is a 3, so that's going to be 5 points to him. Okay, excellent. As it lurches forward, it just kind of lets out this scream as it reaches its hand over to grab. You know what? It doesn't even need its weapon. Screw it. Top of the round, Hack.
Oh, that's right. Hack's just spinning. Come on, Hacky.
No longer with advantage. Straight rolls for this one.
So hold on, I rolled a natural 1. Well, that's what's facing, but it's technically cocked. That D4 fell over and it's holding it up.
What would you do?
I don't know.
Would you take it? It's pretty strong natural 1 on top.
The hard part is the D4 stopped it.
Pick up the. Oh, okay. You know
I couldn't. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Just re-roll
It's
it.
fine. It's natural 1. I'll take it.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's ebbs and flows.
A good, honest man.
Okay.
Mark the natural 1 as Hack has an epic miss. Carlisle in the back is going to release another shot from the revolver here for a 13 to hit. It's going to miss. In the close quarters, he's trying not to hit you or Hack, and it just kind of impacts straight into the back of the wall there, ending his turn. Over to you, Carson.
Shoot, I had disadvantage. Okay.
Sure do. From the atrocious smell. Egregious.
So after just smacking the bed beneath him, I just reload real quick and just come in kind of with a sideways punch above Hack right into his gut. 14, 11 on dice, so that's 16.
Nice. 16 does just hit. Just hits.
Well, I'm in trouble if things are like just hitting, because I do not have a very big plus at all. That's 4 on the cold.
4 cold. Okay. Thank you,
and
sir.
then 10 on the bludgeoning.
10 bludgeoning. Excellent. So you crash into him with the hammer, and he kind of like staggers back into the bed. He sits up, looks at you, lets out another scream.
No bueno.
And then I'm gonna have you make a Constitution saving throw as he like lets out the scream. This like noxious gas begins to like curl out of his throat. Another natural 1, dude. It is your night.
Yeah, but I mean, I rolled 2 natural 20s and 3 natural 1s. So I mean,
Yeah, it's pretty balanced there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just extremes.
No, absolutely. So that is a fail, correct?
Oh, yeah. I mean, typically natural 1s would be a failure.
All right. Let me pull out 4d10.
Oh, well, I'm going to die.
I just wanted to say 4d10. It's truly not going to be as bad as you think it would be. Okay. I like that as well. No way. Okay. 1, 1, 3, 6.
No way.
For a total of 11 points of necrotic damage.
So 5.
Yes. Yes, sir. As it releases this noxious gas,
Lucky.
you... this is in 10 feet of the Suran, so Carlisle is technically safe. I would need Hack to take it. You know what? Hack doesn't need to breathe, so this just doesn't make any sense. He doesn't make it. He doesn't...
Huh?
Like, as I understand, it would only affect, like, organic breathing creatures, so...
Okay.
It's a gas. It does recuperate a little bit from the breathing gas. 4 points. Excellent. That's something. That's something. Okay. It looks a little bit healthier and kind of like bolstered as it sees you. That was its bonus action. It's then going to take 2 claw attacks and just and slashes, or like kind of like extends out these long claws and just attacking into you. This is straight rolls, no advantage here. A 4 on the dice. That's going to miss on the first one. The close quarters kind of impacting or kind of impeding its movement. 13 on the second.
Misses.
Golly. Okay. You see Hack kind of interposing his shield on the first hit. And then the second one, as it goes to get you, you kind of like just take your hammer and push
Pinch it.
Yeah, pinch it in between the wall. Taking us back to the top of the round for Hack.
Yeah, so as he takes his shield and he bounces that one hand back in that movement, same sweeping movement, brings the battle axe around.
Sure.
17 plus 7, that's 27.
27 definitely hits. Go ahead and roll me some damage.
1 on the dice, darn. That's 4 points of damage, though.
4 points of damage, right on.
Still positive damage in the way we want it to go.
You removed what he healed himself for, so that is always good. That is it for Hack.
Yeah, so the creature's kind of like standing up over its bed on its bed. He kind of like right into one of the legs again. Excuse me. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, because he hasn't been hit, so.
Okay. Carlisle calls in. He says, "Carson, are you doing okay?" And you see at this point he's got his musket, and so you know you're about to need to plug your ears as he releases a shot for a 16 to just hit.
Nice.
The D12 coming in strong. Ooh,
11.
baby, for 14
Let's
points
go.
of damage.
That's
That's
awesome.
a heck of a hit. You hear this like deafening crack, already like choking on the air, and now all of a sudden your ears are ringing and your kind of head is spinning. You hear like the boom, 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 as you can hear nothing but your heartbeat and the piercing like of tinnitus setting in. Carlisle unleashes the musket, and then no further action. So ending his turn takes us to you, Carson.
Okay. Head ringing, pinching his hand up, I just pull it back and I just shove it like a battering ram
Heck
into
yeah.
his stomach.
Right on. Roll to attack.
Disadvantage. That's 4 and a 19.
Disadvantage.
Unfortunate.
4 and a 19? Dang,
Yeah,
okay.
19
Yeah,
or 9
so
to
as
hit.
you push it forward, he just kind of takes the hammerhead and shoves it off to the side so it just impacts right in, and he's kind of like interposing himself between you and the hammer, and he's going to attack.
Something inside me. I'm not feeling great, Carlisle.
How are you looking?
Bloody.
Okay.
For sure.
You're going to look a lot worse with a natural 20 on that dice. This is for the claw attacks. And we're also going to see if we can't recharge his noxious breath. Ooh, doesn't recharge, so you're in luck there. With a natural 20 on the dice, it is going to be a D6 and a D8. D6, D8. So that's an automatic 14 points of damage. Oh, sorry. I'll separate that out.
Okay.
This is going to be 13 points of slashing damage.
Oh, shoot.
That's a hard one to hurt.
Oh, shoot.
Yep. Ooh, dude, I kid you not. 6 on the D6, 8 on the D8. The D8 is a total of 16 points of necrotic damage to you.
I'm down.
You go down.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. It pierces you, like it basically like uppercuts you with its claws, impacting straight into your ribs, and you feel all the air forced out of you as it punctures your lungs, and you're ending. Oh no, it has one more turn or one more attack.
Yeah, one more.
Okay. It is going to go for hack.
Okay.
For a 14 to hit.
Misses.
Okay, gotcha. As it goes to just swipe at Hack, who's been hurting it deeply. Nothing happens from the attack, taking us to the top of the round with Hack himself, who gets to retaliate.
And he does not.
No, okay.
It's 11 to hit.
Close quarters can't quite move.
Yeah, he just can't have enough room to swing his battle axe around.
Absolutely. Let me... Oh no. Let me look at something real quick because I need to make sure how many times Carlisle can use his magic fingers. So, do an ad read for us for anything. I don't know who we're sponsored by.
We are
Nobody.
sponsored by
Just kidding.
Logan and Brandon, who
And
have...
Jason Wardell.
Correct, but if we start from the top on the ad read here.
Oh, yeah, here we
Logan
go.
and Brandon, who have devoted their life and pulled out their life savings for everything here before you. No, but seriously. And more importantly, we're sponsored by Jason Wardell. Check him out on In the Vast Forest and Spotify, as this tone is so magical.
It really sets the mood as he has spent all his magical healing.
He gets one.
He just gets the one.
Dang.
He's, caution! And
It's
he
one.
is going to pull the revolver back out and take a shot at the natural 20.
Thank God.
Dude, these dice are hot. Just those ones specifically. I've rolled another natural 20. Have you marked that last one down?
What was the last one?
I rolled a natural 20 for the Surian.
Oh,
to
I
put
did
you
not.
down.
No,
Okay, yeah.
no.
So the Surian put you down with a natural 20, and then Carlisle is going to retaliate with a natural 20. 2d8 plus 3, so that's an automatic 19 points of damage. I don't know why I'm rolling. He's only got 9 hit points, but we're going to see how much we can
nice.
do here. 19 plus 7, so 26 points of damage.
Nice.
Carlisle just takes his shot. The fading light of your hammer as you fall is kind of like pulsing down, and he unleashes the blast and completely decapitates the Suran, which kind of like, as the head lets loose and the long neck just kind of starts like wacky, wavy, inflatable arm tube man as it's deflating all of its gas that is stored up within it. And the room starts to fill up with the gas. So Carlisle at this point like lunges forward, grabs a hold of you, and starts to drag you out.
Hack helps. Best
Yeah,
thing he can
absolutely.
as
I
well.
was gonna
He's
say
strong
Hack
enough.
can definitely start like
Yeah.
pushing you. So I wouldn't even give you guys half movement. You can get out into there. Hack kicks the door shut, and I'm gonna roll a d6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, basically. So like, depending on what I roll is the direction you guys will go. 2, 1, 2. So you guys go right out the front door here, which would deposit you onto the foredeck, which is basically on top of the dragonfly head. So like, if this white space right in there is where you were at, there's a door that leads right out to the top. And as you exit onto the foredeck, I guess you wouldn't see anything, but you would note there is another trap door there as well.
Okay.
So he pulls you out, and once again, Heck closes the door behind you. The cool night air no longer choking down with the noxious gas and the horrible fumes from within the ship. And let's see. Action to shoot. No bonus action. So that would be his movement there as well. We come to you, Carson, with a death saving throw with advantage for being the chosen of Themis.
Okay. Are these both cocked? I'm not going to touch it. They both look technically cocked.
Okay, hold on. I gotta come around.
I think they really are. And they're 15-1, which with this advantage, I'm not like cheating anything, but they literally both look cocked, do they not?
The one is 100.
Like
honestly,
that's point. That's point high.
No, that's
and
like perfectly balanced. I don't know how both of them managed. That is like perfectly balanced, right on the cusp of like.
Oh
that
yeah,
edge.
they were both definitely.
Yeah. No, I reroll both.
So it doesn't hurt. I mean, it doesn't hurt anything with advantage at least.
Yeah.
I'll roll out here. 15 again. So
okay.
Dice never lie.
Gotcha. Right on.
So.
Oh, I forgot. I'm not supposed to let you see your death saves. I forgot about that. That's okay.
Oh, it's fine, Themis. Thank you.
Yeah. You know this round. You are okay. Hack just kind of at your heels. Carlot beginning to panic. He's like, I don't know. How do I fix this? And he's going to attempt to staunch the bleeding with a medicine check.
Nice. Okay.
Do you happen to know stabilizing off of a medicine check? Is it just like a DC 10? Or is the DC just like set by the DM?
That's a good question.
I know there is rules for the medicine checks, but like genuinely, I don't think I've ever rolled a medicine check.
Do it. Typically, you have to have a healer's kit in order to.
But I think you can stabilize as just the medicine check.
I don't know. We've never really done that one, huh?
Bear with us as we maybe look into some rules. I might have to go to the interwebs for this one. That might be a little bit quicker than an index and flipping through. What would it be? Medicine check? Stabilizing? Let's see if there's a stabilizing here. In the D&D Dungeons and Dragons 2024 rulebook.
Yeah, so it looks like with a medicine check, you wouldn't be able to do it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, diagnose an illness or determine what killed the recent slain. You would have to have a healer's kit in order to determine that opportunity.
Gotcha. And he sure doesn't.
Yeah.
Okay. If that's the case, the blood kind of just flowing around his hands, he's panicking. He's like, Carson, no, I can't have this happen again. I can't. And he's like trying to do anything with his hands as he once before, but nothing's coming to him. And the desperation is truly setting into his voice. And I'm going to have you roll another death saving throw with advantage, with your eyes closed. Okay.
That was a good roll. 16, 19.
Oh, yeah. Good for you. Okay. We proceed to another round of pure panic from Carlisle. And another round of death saving throws with advantage. I like how you're manifesting the natural 20s by just like leaving them on top. Okay.
Another good roll for me. 17, 18.
Oh, here we go. I'm saving you.
This is so stressful.
The panic continues.
No.
Carlisle
I
is like elbow deep in blood at this point. What were you going to say?
Okay.
Oh, okay. And he is sobbing uncontrollably. He's like calling out into the night air. He's like, "Gordon! Gordon!" Roll.
I failed one of them with advantage.
You did.
No kidding.
Yeah, you sure did.
That's crazy.
8 and a 9. You
Come
failed
on.
at least one of them. Okay. And with that, we're gonna call it there. It's perfect timing. And
Don't.
yeah. I just happened to look up and I saw the time and I was like, dude, no way. Like, I didn't know how long we'd been playing. I hadn't even looked at the clock yet. But that's perfect. We're gonna call it there.
Cool,
We're gonna pick up next week to see
Sweet.
what exactly happened. I sure hope you guys can't zoom in close enough to see what the dice rolls. I was pretty quick with covering them up. Hopefully we're all in suspense aside from me. That excites me. Man, should I have you make a character sheet just in case? Anyways, no. Wow. We'll pick up there next Wednesday. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to episode 7 of Duels and Destiny Commander's Log Edition. I am your DM, Logan. Again, special shout out to Jason Wardell of In the Vast Forest for setting the mood in the background. Check him out on Spotify and Bandcamp and show him your love from us.
Thank you, guys. I'm Brandon. Don't know what to think or say right now. I'm kind of stunned, but we can't say thank you and appreciate. We can't say how much we appreciate all of the feedback and love that we've gotten so far. So thank you, everybody. Tune in next Wednesday, please, as I will be graciously and quickly approaching what this decision is. Gosh, there's nothing else to say. Guys, we'll see you next time. Until then, see ya.